Hello, and welcome to another podcast of The Benefit Builders. My name is Brian Gleis, and today I'm joined by
Matt Spate.
And remotely we have
Mark Blassie.
And together we are your benefit builders. We work for the Scott Agency, a Keystone partner, and what our goal is to help business owners just like you help attract and retain top talent through your employee benefits program. Today, we are going to talk about a topic of broker selection. It's a topic that's important to all three of us because this is what we do every single day. We look to go to employers and say, hey, these are the reasons why you should select us as your employee benefits team. So during this podcast, we're going to cover a lot of ground. Some of it's going to be off of surveys that have been done. Some of it's going to be off of real life experiences. But this is kind of going to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes look of what's going on. And as usual, we're going to give you some tips and techniques to help you select the proper broker. So Mark Blassie, I want to pitch it to you right off the bat, as you are the person that I like to refer to as the architect. You are the one that brings the pieces of the puzzle together, and Matt and I are the ones that take those pieces of the puzzle, boots on the ground, and get them in place. So tell us what's top of mind with you whenever you think about broker selection.
Any broker selection process focuses on a set of criteria that will be used to judge who they would like to partner with. Scott Agency has made a commitment to a client experience that differentiates themselves by focusing on what has now turned out to be one of the top two criterias, which has shifted a little bit in the past couple of years. The second most highest reason a broker is selected is because they position themselves to be a trusted advisor. And we know that is a key component of the Concierge Foundation that supports our Pillars of Excellence model.
No, exactly. And so let's see. I have been slaving away at the insurance industry for going on 19 or so years. Matt, what about you?
I've been here 17 years.
And Blassie, give us a ballpark.
25 plus.
So over all of these years, we have seen things change in the industry. We have seen an insurance agent's status go from what used to be called a product pusher. The insurance agent would just come in and say, well, hey, I want to move you to Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare. Oh, we've got this new thing with Aetna. And it's just product, product, product. And we have seen the shift to that trusted advisor standpoint. And as a trusted advisor, we want to build that relationship. And you as the business owner say, well, duh, well, what does that mean? Let me give you a pertinent example. Yesterday, I met with a client in order to earn their business. And we had to compare and contrast the services that their current broker was providing them versus what the Scott Agency would offer. And it's not just about the business owner anymore. It's about the employees that work for the business owner. Mark talked about the Pillars of Excellence. The Pillars of Excellence, I'll put it up on the screen so that you can view it again. We bring it up in almost every single one of our videos because it is the core foundation of the benefit builders. But in there, it talks about communication, technology, compliance, concierge service, talks about all these things. And the Pillars of Excellence is a roadmap for us to go down. So when I was with this particular business owner, I asked them, has your current agent ever went over a claims report with you and talked about what the top 10 conditions are, the top 10 prescription medications, visit with you about how many employees had their annual checkup, how many ER visits do you have versus urgent cares? These are all metrics that it used to be back in the day that the employer was responsible for fixing. Now, in today's market, the broker that you choose should have ways through technology, in-person visits, and things like that to help your employees all start rowing the same direction. So I want you to contemplate that. We find that it's not necessarily a change of product that's needed all the time, but the product isn't utilized to its fullest extent. The employer that I met with didn't know that there's a program inside their services called Healthiest You. Healthiest You is zero cost to the employees for a virtual visit. Not only is it zero cost to the employees, their dependents that aren't even on the doggone program can use this as well. That communication portion hasn't been out there. So when we talk about broker selection, Mark came at it from a standpoint of best practices, which is so important. I'm coming from a standpoint of practicality, that if your broker isn't actually providing you services, you need to think about that. Now, Matt, I'd like to pitch it to you next, because whenever we prepare to meet with a business owner and give them presentations, it doesn't matter to you, the business owner, how much work we do, but we do a ton of work. And I want you to talk about the competition between brokers, maybe how a market can get blocked, but just share some of your experiences so that the business owner can understand what our role as trusted advisors are.
Well, Brian mentioned very briefly there about markets getting blocked. A lot of times, especially on the property and casualty side, but it happens on the health insurance side. Brian had one happen just recently, that when too many brokers get involved, they block each other out from getting quotes. And obviously, we never want to be the one that's blocked out, but occasionally it does happen. A lot of times the incumbent already has quotes out to certain carriers, and that restricts us from being able to get those quotes. So we normally recommend, even when it's a large account that's doing an RFQ is what we call it, and we'll explain that more, going out to lots of different brokers, we recommend they narrow that down to 1, 2, or maybe 3 brokers at max, because it enables that broker to go out and get quotes from many different places rather than just bringing one suggestion into the meeting on the table.
Because one of the things me and Matt can tell you is that if you choose 3 brokers, those 3 brokers are going to have access. I'm going to go as high as 90% of the same markets. So if I access Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield first with a complete quote, Anthem is not going to provide a quote to me and to Matt and to Mark and the next guy. They're going to say, no, you guys, the business owner needs to figure out which broker they're working with. So with that in mind, yes, it makes common sense. Let's get multiple brokers in here and get multiple quotes. But I want to change your mindset. I want you to interview the broker for their capacity. What is their capacity? How many markets do they have access to? Do they seem like a good fit with your organization? What is their resources as far as human resources, communication? Do they have a platform such as the Pillars of Excellence that keeps them on track? So it is such an important decision. And when there's blood in the water, whenever you're a broker, all right, there will be brokers that will block us intentionally as a market strategy. And you just want to be careful. Mark, share with us a little bit more. We've just talked a lot to the business owners that are watching about some of the details, some of the intricacies. Talk to us a little bit more about what you've seen, successes that we've had, and what an employer should be thinking about during the broker selection process.
Brian and Matt, the 2 examples that you used, one, getting more out of the existing program, which may not have been known, and the example of strategies to block a competing broker, I believe both address the number 1 criteria in a recent survey of broker selection, and that is prompt, effective service and answers. And what do I mean by that? And Brian, your selection, you're giving effective answers. You're interpreting program results. You're digging in and leaning in to get more out of that existing carrier relationship. And Matt, you suggesting to either limit or select your broker only brings efficiency and effectiveness to the market. When the carriers understand that they're working with the trusted advisor, you're going to get better negotiating terms and conditions. And in the end, who benefits the most? The client.
Mhm. No, and so let's take that exact example that Mark just stated. If you, the business owner, were an underwriter for a health insurance company and you got 4 requests from quotes from 4 different brokers for the same customer, all right, you as the underwriter are going to say, okay, well, these guys are fighting over the same customer. Only one of them's going to get it. Now then, let's take the example that I just gave you and tell you that if you were approached by one broker that maybe even had a letter of authorization that says, my name is Brian Gleiss, I'm the broker for XYZ company, and they have authorized me to negotiate on their behalf for this quote. Which one of those 2 examples, you being the underwriter, would you pay more attention to? Would you give the better quote to? Would you give the better recommendation to? So that's where we're going to. The proof is in the pudding. And as far as our podcast goes, guys, what we'll always tell you is that we're not professional podcasters. We are professional insurance agents. I might have lost Mark Blassie. Normally he can hear me when this happens, but I can't see him on screen. But that's okay, because we work as a team. And the beautiful part about it is, and the scary part about it is, a lot of times we can almost complete each other's sentences when we're going down the path. So the good news is that we have the pillars of excellence to run on. We don't repeat the wheel every single time, but we do understand that you as a business owner have particular needs that the business owner next to you might not share, or there's some differences as far as that goes. So broker selection is something that we bang our heads against the wall so many times, and we say these words. If the employer only knew the inner workings of how all of this went, they would change their ways. Because yes, common sense says, I want as many different agents quoting this as possible so that I can get the best deal. But what we are here telling you today is you will get the best deal by picking one agent, making sure that agent shares your core values, has the breadth of products to support your employees, get everybody rowing the same direction. And that is how you will win the most efficient product for your employee services.
And we're going to ask you what you want from us.
Yeah.
But we want you to tell us what you want from us, whether that's a quarterly update, whether that's a semi-annual claims report review, whether that's leave me alone until you have my renewal, and if I need something, I'll call you. And that's okay too. But we want to know what you want from us so that we can provide that for you at the times that you want it.
Because the reports that we have says, it even gives us percentages. It says some of you want to hear from us monthly. Some of you want to hear from us weekly, and some of you are crazy enough to want to hear from us daily. We need to talk to you all that want to talk to us daily, because I've got suggestions for you. But the other thing is, Mark Blassie is the one that looked at me one day and says, Brian, we need to do a survey. We need to do a survey of the employees to see what the hierarchy of concerns of the employees are. It gives me literal goosebumps, all right? I geek out at the way we can help our people. And fortunately or unfortunately, I goosebumped out at the meeting yesterday, and the business owner was able to see the damn goosebumps on my arm. And I told him, we get passionate about this because not only am I helping you, the employer, I mean, sometimes we're changing the lives of the employees, and I don't want to be goofy, but that's kind of what we do. Mark, welcome back. What else? Oh, now we don't have audio, Mark. I can't hear you. Like I said, we are professional insurance agents, not professional podcasters. But that's got Mark smiling. But let's go ahead and we'll sign off. I want to tell you thank you so much. Getting everything together for these podcasts is very different. We're out there with the people trying to help individuals. So putting our mugs on the video here and talking to you with these very real discussions that aren't canned. We don't have a prompter in front of us or anything else. We appreciate it. If you find value in this, please tell other people, okay? Share this content, and we are here to help. We're the Scott Agency, a Keystone partner. We'll get you to our website. We'll do all that stuff. Thank you very much. Final words, Matt?
Nope. Thank you. Have a good day.
Mark, can I hear you yet? No, I can't. Mark Blassie says, thank you very much. And he goes like this. So, guys, we're a good team. We love each other and would love to see if we can help you. Goodbye.